Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. Today we're going to take a look at a Husqvarna 272XP chainsaw. Customer complaint is that he just wants us to get it running. I don't think he could get it started. So we're going to look it over and see if there's anything to see. Looking in the fuel tank, it looked like it had a brand new filter, and I didn't see any water in the tank. The customer did say that he does his own maintenance, and it would appear that, he's putting fresh fuel and keeping up on the fuel filter anyway. Let's see what we got under the hood. A little bit of schmutz underneath the cover, but generally speaking, it's not too bad under here. This looks like a brand new spark plug. Now, I don't know if he put a new plug in to try and get it started, or if it's just part of his regular maintenance that there was already a new plug in there. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, that looks pretty new. Looks like it might have run on that plug once, but the good news is that the piston and cylinder look really good. There's nothing wrong with this classic chainsaw. Let's get this spark plug back in here. Torque down to spec. Get the boot on. How about this air filter? Now, personally, I'm not a big fan of this style filter, but it had been around for a while and seemed to have worked. I guess I'm alright with that. Certainly it's not the reason why his saw doesn't start. There is some dust under here. So maybe he doesn't use compressed air when he cleans up his saw. Maybe he just kind of uses a brush or something, right? I did not check for a spark. That's interesting. I wonder why. Kind of dirty under here too. That rope doesn't look very good. This blue wire is for the kill switch, and this piece I'm taking out is called an air conductor. That's what Husqvarna calls it anyway. So I'm going to pop that kill wire off the coil so that I can sneak this thing out of here. I'm going to clean that up before I put it back in. We're going to take this bar and chain off here too and clean up the other side of the saw as well. I don't know, it looks like about a 24 inch bar. Here's our spike. Clutch cover. You can't tell if there's a brake band in there. It almost looks like there's not. The nose of the bar looks like it got a little bit hot at some point. Spins free though. The oil feed hole in the bar is not plugged up. Drum bearing feels good. Alright, we went outside and we blew everything off just to clean it up. What are we going to do next? Put our air filter back on. So this saw, the 272, this has been around for a while. It's not a current saw, at least in the United States. It might be still available in some third world countries. I'm not sure. But a lot of people, when they talk about, the old school saws, and when they're comparing new modern saws to what they used to love in the past. This is one of the models that they're referring to. The 272, it's like a 5 horsepower saw. Always regarded as having a lot of low-end torque, decent chain speed, decent feel. Maybe not the best ergonomics as far as anti-vibe, but decent balance, I think. What do you think if you were, running the saw back in the day and now you're running a modern saw? Let me know how you would compare it. A lot of guys are stuck in the old ways, and they won't even look at an auto-tune saw. And this is the kind of machine that they're going to want to keep running, until the day they die. It's kind of the end of an evolution of a series of saws. Maybe the outboard clutch gives it a certain feel. It's decent, but a lot of guys don't like that kind of clutch in case they pinch the thing and gotta take the chain and bar off while it's still wedged in a tree. Let's see if it'll start. Setting the fast idle.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's old school. Big compression. All right, it looks like we got to do a little work on that starter. I didn't really like the rope anyway, so we're going to take this apart and clean it up a little bit and put a new rope on it so I can yank on it some more. A little bit of dirt, I think, is binding up between the starter pulley and the plastic cover for the rewind spring. You can see as soon as I loosened the screw, it wanted to retract. So it's not going to take much to fix this. In fact, I don't think I even take the spring out and oil it. I mean, would that have been good practice? Yes, it would have been good practice to remove the spring and oil it. Would have been a pain in the butt and a lot of extra work that maybe it doesn't really need. Yeah, possibly. You'll see here, though, that after I put the string in it and just clean up the surfaces between the two plastic pieces there, the pulley and the spring cover, that it's going to work just fine. So we're going to trust the length of the rope that we have there and just cut a new one to that same length. Yeah, there's a couple bad spots in this one anyway. Here's our new rope. And we're going to get a torch. So this is the way I like to burn the ends of the rope. If I just hold the rope in a rag and heat it up and pull the rope through the rag, it naturally puts a nice taper on the melted end of the rope, and it doesn't leave a blister on the end of my fingers. Now here's what I was talking about, cleaning up the schmutz that's in here. This dirt binding between this plastic cover and the starter pulley wasn't helping the situation at all. And the spring, well, I don't inspect it here. it did not sound like it was rusted up. You can usually pick that up as sound. I guess I'm just trying to justify not oiling it. So the new rope is going to go through the starter pulley. And we'll just put a single overhand knot in it. I don't want too much string hanging out the end of the knot, but I don't want the knot to come out either. And you can see the notch in the bottom of the pulley that's going to line up with the end of the rewind spring. And then we'll get our screw put back in. The thing feels pretty good now, and it doesn't seem to be making that gritty noise it was making before. The handle's still in decent shape, but we're going to put a pretty thick knot in here just to make sure it doesn't pull through. That looks pretty good. There's a notch in the pulley that allows me to, yeah, it slipped. Allows me to wind it up like this decent. And I'm going to wind it up until I like the way this, the snap feels. One more wind. That's nice. It's holding keeping the handle from drooping. But now I'm going to pull the rope all the way out and make sure that when it is all the way out, I can still turn that pulley and wind the spring a little farther, meaning that I'm not binding that spring. So now we can put this back together. I'll run these screws down in here, and these are like, flat blade screws here. This is old school. Tuck the rope into the handle. Then I'll try and give this thing another start. And if it does start, then that's all I'm going to have for you on the Husqvarna 272XP that came in just to look it over. Thanks for watching. Later.